What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 153rd edition of the Sports Reality. My name is Jeremy John, aka the fourth greatest Grenadian of all time.
Perfect.
Aka the Little Wayne of podcasts, because I will get on any podcast.
Perfect.
Let's welcome my co-host, BigThad, Cousin BigThad. What's going on with you, my man?
I'm good. I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? It's that that first week of being COVID vaccine. So I guess I got a couple more days.
Yeah, before you're fully vaccinated. Yep.
Yeah, man. But other than that, I'm good, man. You know, getting the new course starts today. And it seems like it's gonna be a lot easier than the last course. So yeah, it might fly by pretty quick.
That's what's up, man. I do like easy courses. Like, who doesn't like easy courses in college?
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Like, come on.
Like, literally, this one seems like it's like one. So my first project paper basically is like pretty in depth, but my other three is basically all labs.
Oh, okay.
It's basically all labs, all three projects for like after these next 2 weeks, the next 9 weeks are like all labs, like all lab reports, pretty much.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm down. But other than that, it's good, man. How's everything with you?
Doing all right, man. I actually wrapped up, that middle session, the second session, wrapped it up yesterday.
All right.
I mean, that class was an elective. It was an art class, art history.
I never understood why you even took that class.
I mean, I needed an elective that was a 300 level, and I needed something that I was like, I can't be writing because I already write so much for communication.
Right.
I can't be doing something where there's a paper every week. So I was like, I need something 300 level. I did understanding movies a couple years ago, which was a 320 something. Went well, got an A in that. This class, because of when I registered, it was the only professor. That professor, everyone said on Rate My Professor, yeah, she grades kind of hard. So I was like, okay, all right, whatever. And since it's an elective, I was like, look, I just need to get a C in the class.
This guy,
that's the worst case scenario, a C in the class.
Right.
But I'm obviously striving to get an A. Last I checked, I was really close to an A. So it literally depends on the last grade if I'm gonna be an A or B. So I'm actually excited. I'm actually, happy that things went better than expected.
I got you.
Definitely went the other way. It was a little time consuming. So now that this class is done, the third session, which I'm into week 5, should be a lot better. I do know I have one of my classes. There's a paper, it's supposed to be 3,500 words, but that's for the last week. The way things are set up, I should be able to start like writing that paper in week 7. So I have technically 2 weeks to do that paper instead of 1, because the way the syllabus is set up. So, looks pretty good. This is honestly it was supposed to be the most difficult semester that I was gonna have, and so far it's going well. I know I have the summer semester, which should be the classes that I have to take should be pretty manageable.
How many are you taking in summer too?
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much? Well, actually, how much you got left? How many credits you have?
So I have 9 in the summer and then 12 in the fall, and I'll be done. So 21.
Oh, you got 21 until December graduation?
Yeah, I'm gonna do 21 credits.
Are you trying to be like me? I see you. I
Trying to get
see.
out of here, man. I'm trying
I
to get
see you. I see you. I see you. So while we're live, I gotta ask you this question because we both right now we are in line to graduate in December. All right. So I'm gonna be finishing my master's program, and then you with your bachelor's, same school. Are we walking in December, or are we walking in May?
I mean, if they're giving us the option to walk, I'm walking in December.
Okay.
It's just we still don't know if with this pandemic, how things are going. And if they say, "Oh, we still aren't, we're going to do a virtual graduation in December," I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna opt for the May graduation because I'm walking across that stage, man."
All right, because I will tell you this now, because since I did my bachelor's at the same school, come October, we have to go into my UMGC, and apply for graduation. All right, so they tell you do it around September, October, and they take a couple weeks, look at what your schedule is like, how you are, credits wise, and then make a decision if you're eligible to graduate in December.
Yep.
But after that, after them telling you that you're eligible to graduate, you then have the option to pick, winter or spring.
Okay.
Right. So like they even say that the winter, because I graduated winter, like they say like there might not be enough seats, you know what I'm saying, or enough. Like you could say I want to do December, and then they could turn around and tell you there's not enough spots to walk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So because they basically, you walking is just you walking. It means nothing. It literally means nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because like graduation will be like December 14th.
Yeah.
But your semester ends on like December 28th.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then once they do everything, it's like you technically would graduate December 30th.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, we got time because we are in April.
Yeah.
But just wanted to put in your head, like, are we walking together? You know what I'm saying? Are we just gonna walk together, have the whole fam there, or what? You know what I'm saying?
That's another thing. Like,
because we get a lot more tickets.
True.
That's how I see it.
You get more family members there at the actual graduation. So yeah, that's my thing. I'm still trying to it all depends on how this pandemic goes, man. I know more people getting vaccinated. We'll talk about one of the vaccines, one of the issues.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. But we'll also, it all depends, man. That's how I feel about it. But I am walking across the stage is what needs to happen for me.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Got to. Yeah, I told Miles, I was like, I don't know if I want to walk. She's like, you're walking across stage. Like I am flying up from Florida and you are going to walk across the stage. Like there's no questions about it. And I'm like, it's not a big deal to me. It's a big deal. Like you're walking across stage.
So yeah, that's how I feel about it. I need by December. I also need the streets to be in order because I will be going out somewhere to celebrate.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Like there's no doubt about it. We are going out.
I have not been out since before my son was born.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So I am going out somewhere, getting a table somewhere, bottle service.
Oh wow. So what you saying? We going to stadium or something? Like what?
I don't know. I don't know if I'll be permitted to go to stadium, but
bruh, I've never been to stadium. I don't know if I really want to go to stadium, but I'm just saying if that's an option that you want to do, I'm not gonna say no.
But I want to do hood stuff with my friend.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, so I gotta go somewhere, man. I gotta go somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
To celebrate, man.
What we got going on today, yo?
yes, we got a lot to get into. We're gonna talk about the NBA. Man, NBA injuries, NBA ejections. Yeah, that's pretty much the news. The Washington Wizards seem to piss me off even in a win. We'll talk about that.
Always.
We'll also talk about the NFL, some free agency news that occurred today. That is big. We'll get into that. Also, news on the upcoming draft. We'll also get into our sports free zone, where we will talk about, unfortunately, another unarmed black man killed by the police. But we will wrap up the sports free zone with a very entertaining conversation about One Gotta Go, the R&B edition. So make sure.
Is that the R&B edition though?
Yes, it's the R&B.
Is it really? You sure it's not like R&B / pop?
I mean, it's the R&B edition.
You got to, because you already know who I want out of there, and he's pop. There's no R&B in him.
So we'll have two guests come on during that time to discuss that. Just want to remind you all to subscribe to the podcast where podcasts are available. That includes Anchor, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn. You can also watch us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch.
That's right.
If you are watching the live stream right now, man, just let us know who you are. Let us know where you're watching from.
Comment, whatever.
Be part of the show. This is an interactive show. Don't feel like, oh, you're just going to watch us and we're not going to interact with you all. Shoot out your comments, your questions, or even if you have a topic that we do not have of mind and you just want us to talk about and get our opinions on it, chime in and let us know.
Definitely. We like things messy sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool.
Oh man, let's get right into the NBA. Some notable injuries. James Wiseman of the Golden State Warriors torn meniscus. Looks like he's going to be out for the rest of the season.
I mean, he is playing for the Warriors, man. I don't see them even making the playoffs. So yeah, just cut him off. It's his first year. Just cut him off.
It's really unfortunate because he was the second overall pick. Yeah. And everyone said, well, he's going to a team with two veterans. You know, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, very good head coach.
Oh, I was wondering who the second one was you were talking about.
Oh,
I was like, the second one's injured. What are they talking about? You were talking about that guy.
Halfway, take a. Oh man, your favorite player, your favorite Warrior, Draymond Green. It's a very unfortunate thing for James Wiseman.
Yeah.
Now, the thing with the meniscus, you can trim a little bit off, and the recovery time is significantly shorter.
Right.
Or you can repair it the proper way, and the recovery time is longer. The issue with the shorter recovery time with trimming some of it, the issue comes where you could potentially get arthritic knee, and that's what happened with Brandon Roy. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah,
he opted to just trim a little bit, be back in. I think it was like a month and a half. Played for a couple more years, but then the knee issues really started hampering his career. I mean, he was one of those guys that if he didn't have the knee injury, I personally think he's still in the league right now.
Yeah. He was killing it.
We're talking about someone. Look, I understand not everyone could be LeBron and Melo. They're in year 18. But Brandon Roy, I believe, was that good that if he just stayed relatively healthy, other than the knee, he could be a role player somewhere. So,
definitely. He was definitely serviceable. You know what I'm saying? Definitely a serviceable talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say like a Chris Paul ish player. You know what I'm saying? I think he could have still been that. That's a very serviceable guard.
Yeah, man. So I hope he's young. I hope he takes the time to just do the normal recovery. Don't try to come back for a playoff push because you're a rookie. Your career is going to be significantly longer than Steph, Clay, and Draymond and Steve Kerr. You got to think about yourself. Hopefully, they're doing him well. We kind of remember what happened 2 years ago with Kevin Durant. It's not clear if he was coerced or misinformed that allowed him to make that decision to return in the NBA final. We saw what happened. Torn Achilles less than 12 minutes into the game.
You seen that calf shake like it was a earthquake happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, and no one look, we're not doctors, but we know people who've torn their Achilles. You couldn't tell me that Kevin Durant was not misinformed about his injury. I honestly think they told him, yeah, you should be good, and was just hoping that nothing happened. And then they try to come out and be like, we had his best interest, blah, 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 blah. Nah, I don't think they had his best interest. Not at all. So I hope James Wiseman is treated well. Another NBA injury, Jamal Murray. Actually, this was playing against the Warriors. Jamal Murray, he tears his ACL in the last minute of the game. It was one of those instances where they weren't close, but they weren't like out of the game either.
Right.
Like if he hits that layup and they're able to get a stop, there's still a chance that they could come back.
Right.
So the starters were still in the game. He's driving to the hole, just plants, falls to the ground. Honestly, I thought it was maybe a quad tendon.
Mm-hmm.
Especially where he grabbed in his knee. He actually didn't really grab his knee, and he grabbed above. And that was the same injury that sidelined Kawhi, the quad tendon. And then also, I remember Victor Cruz of the Giants.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what ended Victor Cruz. And actually, the quad tendon now is one of those injuries where it's kind of what the Achilles used to be, a career ender almost.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought it was that. I'm not saying, I'm glad it's just an ACL because medical technology shows
so much better.
Yeah. You could bounce back from ACL. Yeah, you're gonna be out for 8 to 12 months, depending on the severity. But once you come back, you should be good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Russell Westbrook, who's still playing phenomenal with and his was actually a meniscus. Actually, so let me rephrase that. There's been other guys in the NBA who've torn their ACLs and come back. We see it in the NFL also. Guys tear their ACL, they'll be out for the year, they'll be back. So, but yeah, man, what do you think is going to happen with the Nuggets now? Because they were playing really well after the trade for Aaron Gordon and JaVale McGee. Jokic is an MVP candidate. What do you think is going to happen now with the Nuggets that their second leading scorer is now out for the remainder of the year?
Man, it's gonna be tough, man. I still think they make the playoffs, but it's gonna be tough, man, because you have Jamal Murray. Like he's basically like the captain of the team. You know what I'm saying? He's keeping everything going. So as a bad loss for them. And I mean, he was having a great season also. So it's just one of them things, man. It's like I don't know who was taking over for him. Do you know? I don't know who's there.
I honestly don't. I guess it'll probably be more of Monty Morris if he's still on the team. I'll be honest, but I think it's Monty Morris when it comes to the actual point guard duties.
Right.
Him, I think. If someone out there is watching it right now, let us know who the backup point guard is for that team. Maybe, obviously, they'll have someone playing the point guard position, but
we're
going to have more of Jokic.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a lot more Jokic, more of Porter Jr. You know what I'm saying? He's and I mean, there was a couple games so far that he's been looking lights out, you know what I'm saying? But he's going to have to step up even more. Aaron Gordon, you're going to get 14 and 8 out of him, but you might have to get a lot more out of him too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of the things that those those three players definitely gonna have to just completely just up their game even higher than they are now. And I mean, Jokic, he's MVP candidate. Like, how much more higher does he need to play for this team to, do something? You know what I'm saying? So it's tough for me, man. Jamal is definitely, he's that captain of the team. You know what I'm saying? He's the point guard. Everything pretty much runs through him and Jokic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just one of them things, man. It's crazy.
Now, Steph Curry in that game dropped 53 points on his way to become the Warriors' all-time leading scorer. Now, do you know who was the original record holder for that?
No, it wasn't Jason Richardson, was it?
No.
Jason Richardson? Is that right? Jason Richardson played for them, right?
Yeah, but not Jason.
Okay. I was just making sure. I wasn't sure. It wasn't Chris Webber.
Year.
It wasn't what's youngin from UNC that played for the Wizards also.
Antoine Jameson.
Antoine Jameson is not him. It's not Gilbert.
Bro, so you're gonna forget you forgot who was a all-time great that played for the Warriors.
Of course I did, because it's the Warriors. It's that long ago. He had to play in the 70s, didn't he?
He played in the 70s, but not for the Warriors in the 70s. Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt? Wow. What? Wilt was with them?
Yes. Or is it before the 70s? Yes, before the 76. It had
to be like 60s, man. 65, easy.
Whatever year he got into the league, it was the Philadelphia Warriors. Then they went to Oakland, became Golden State Warriors, and
That's
then
right.
he became a Philadelphia 76er, I believe, through a trade. I don't think free agency wasn't out then. Mm-hmm. And then after that, then became a Laker. But yeah, man.
Wow.
Now we will, depending on time, we will talk about Wilt Chamberlain later in this episode. But yeah, man, he passed Wilt Chamberlain. I don't want to give too much because it's gonna, depending on time, if we talk about it, we'll just be reiterating what is said now. But yeah, man, Steph Curry, though, in that game dropped 53.
Yeah. What's I can't remember. Isn't his highest career high around that?
I believe he dropped more than 60, I believe. I think it was against the Knicks, I believe.
Oh, yeah, that would happen.
I believe it was the Knicks, and it was
that would happen. It's the Knicks. So yeah, it's definitely, I think everybody gets at least 60 on the Knicks at some point in their career. Well, star players, not just anybody. But
man. Yeah, so that Steph Curry is automatically the greatest Warrior of all time.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's catching him.
Yeah, I mean,
not with the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Like Clay, I would say Clay, but Clay's been down 2 years, so that's not happening for a while.
Yeah, I would have to say he's already the best Warrior of all time.
Yeah,
I mean, even Wilt Chamberlain, who I believe is just a better basketball player than him, his best years were in Philadelphia as a 76er.
Right.
In Philadelphia for both of those franchises. And then it ended obviously in LA, where he got, I believe, his second championship in LA. The Brooklyn Nets, they are in the news as always. They had a very big matchup against the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, when this game was scheduled, the expectation it was going to be LeBron versus KD, Anthony Davis versus, I know they don't play the same position, but James Harden, that's your number 2 versus your number 2.
Right.
Your number 3, Kyrie Irving, going up against, a solid point guard, Dennis Schroeder. And it's just the whole defending champions versus the team that is projected to be the NBA Finals Eastern Conference, team in the NBA Finals.
Right.
That was the expectation. Well, LeBron gets injured, AD is injured. You also have James Harden, who's out with a hamstring injury, ends up being KD and
Kyrie
Irving versus the Lakers, who are
just Schrader.
Yeah. Yep. Just Dennis Schroeder and
Schroeder, no Kuzma.
Yeah, Kuzma was out.
You got Caruso. You know what I'm saying?
Caruso. Andre Drummond was there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Drummond. Yeah, I forgot about it.
To the lineup, and the game was actually pretty good. Back and forth. First half, Dennis Schroeder was killing it in the first half. So was Kyrie Irving. They're both going back and forth. Then there was an incident where both those guys were ejected in the third quarter. It was a pretty close game. After that, the Lakers eventually pulled away and won by, it was almost 20 points.
Yeah,
they won. Now, this game was in Brooklyn. So big win for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now let's actually get to the actual ejection. Dennis Schroeder.
I still don't understand it.
Dennis Schroeder and Kyrie Irving were both playing really, really well. Dennis Schroeder, he has the ball. He's going up against Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving fouls him, and Kyrie Irving is now upset that he got the foul called on him. Dennis Schroeder is also telling the referee, like, pretty much he's been doing that all game. They're going, they're talking to the referee, but then also kind of talking to each other.
Right.
This is where things get really interesting. Kyrie Irving, he how do I describe it? He's talking with Dennis Schroeder, and they're going back and forth. Dennis Schroeder, and you can see this in the video, but Dennis Schroeder does say, nigga, like, what's up? Kind of like, yo, how are you bugging? And he says that.
Right.
And I should have gave a trigger warning to the young people listening who are actually you can see him say nigga.
Who you talking about? Rory? Or Rowan?
No, just whoever, whoever listens after this.
Who we know that's younger than, I mean, who we know that's younger than that?
That's why we have explicit tags, so we can spit like ball. So pretty much he said,
we told y'all we like messy stuff, y'all.
He says nigga like, yo, why you bugging?
Right.
Kyrie goes off, and you could then hear, when you replay the video, you hear Kyrie like, yo, don't call me that, like da. They go back and forth, and Dennis Schroeder's confused. They give the tech they do a double tech.
Right.
And Kyrie now is doubly upset with the referee. He is yelling and cussing at the referee. He gets ejected. Dennis Schroeder allegedly, because there's no camera angles because of COVID, lack of camera angles in for these games, even for national televised games. He waves at Kyrie Irving. He gets his second technical. He's ejected. Now, after the game, Kyrie Irving goes to Twitter and says, look, we as Black people gotta eradicate that word. It was disparaging. It was a racial slur, and we should never, use that as a term of endearment or just slang. Let me preface this to those who are watching and listening out there. If you are white, I think you just need to listen to this part. Don't chime in. We don't want your opinions on this specific topic. Historically, within the Black community, yes, the N-word with the hard ER is a racial slur and still is. Just like many other ethnicities and races, intraracial, they have used slurs as slang, as terms of endearment, as just regular vernacular. We've seen it in the Latino community, because I've heard some of my Latino friends who have said racial slurs among themselves. but I would not dare step in just because I'm cool with them and say that also. We've seen it in the LGBTQ community where words are used in a ironic or in a like still like a term of endearment within people who have close relations. We've seen that happen. It's the same thing in the Black community. We've even seen it in the Asian community. There's certain words like think about individuals from the West Indies, Thad. Think about I'm not going to even say the word, but what do people from the West Indies call people of Indian or Indian descent? Just think about
yeah.
But among them, I've heard that from my Indian friends. They refer to themselves that. I would not dare step in. So for this one, people need to realize, yes, there is a dark history to the N-word. Nigga among Black people say it for various reasons. I also know there's a generational thing. Like our parents will never say that, because of their age. Because of when they came to this country and the things that happened. Now, we're of that era, due to hip hop, due to, popular vernacular in the Black community, saying nigga ain't really like a crazy thing. Now, if I don't know someone and someone is angry with me, even if they're Black, and they say that, then okay, we're gonna have some problems.
Right. Now, you know what is meant.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Now,
and that's one thing that a lot of people outside don't realize.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I mean, first of all, it shouldn't be said, but two, it's how it's said and taken at the same time also.
Yes. So now Dennis Schroeder is Black, just like Kyrie Irving. But I believe this was the defining factor. And we're going to go a little bit outside of sports to discuss this. But I feel like this is the issue. And I've been seeing this occur within social media, especially the app Clubhouse. A lot of discussions about this. There is a disconnect. There is some tension in the Black community when it comes to Black Americans, Black Caribbean folks, Black Africans. There's some tension. And Kyrie Irving, who was born, I believe he was born in the United States, but then migrated to Australia for most of his childhood when his father was a professional basketball player. Dennis Schroeder is from Germany.
Yeah.
And I, due to some conversations that I've heard, especially on Clubhouse, I'm not saying it's all Black Americans, but there are Black Americans who do feel like Black West Indians and Africans are not really Black in the United States. And they feel like because of this stuff with slavery and Jim Crow, civil rights era, I understand to an extent why they may feel like that. There is the Black American experience. There is the Caribbean experience. Like you and I, our folks are from Grenada. Right. Both of our parents are from Grenada. And they both came here as young adults, or even like my mom, she came as a teenager.
Right.
Same thing with my dad. I understand our experience is different. I understand that.
Right.
Just like someone from Africa who migrated here, your experience is different. However, we have a lot more similarities than differences among the Black culture. And especially when it comes to race relations in the United States.
Right.
We're going to discuss some of this later in our sports free zone. We mentioned there was another unarmed Black man that was killed. When it comes to the government, it don't matter where you're from, Black, you're Black.
Right.
There's no
every time I fill out an application, and they'll never ask me if I'm West Caribbean or East Caribbean or British or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's literally black. And it literally says black, and then in parentheses says non-Hispanic, which I still haven't understood to this day yet why. But I understand that you would like Dominicans. A lot of Dominicans, when you see them, they're just black.
Yes.
But then you see other Dominicans and you're like, you're Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? That's how they're looked at. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, but it's the fact, like every time I fill out an application or something, it's white, black, Asian, black, non-Hispanic, and then it's Hispanic. And I'm kind of like,
I'm gonna stop you there on the actual like census and like other stuff. You know, in America, Hispanic is not a race,
right?
It's an ethnicity. So, like, literally on the race list, it is white, black, Asian, Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
About it. It's those
That's
three.
right. And then they ask you if you're Hispanic
exactly
afterwards.
Because
I'm like, what?
If you're Hispanic, you can be white, you can be Native American, you can be black, you can be all of those and still be Latino or Hispanic.
Right.
That's the thing. Now, I'm gonna plug this. My wife, her doctorate is literally that, creating a racial identity model for Latinos. That's
for real?
That is her doctorate.
I didn't know. Oh, that's dope. I didn't know that.
So she is, working on it getting published, things like that, and the goal is in the future, Hispanic / Latino will be recognized as an actual race, and not an ethnicity. Back to the Dennis Schroeder, Kyrie Irving. I believe that Kyrie Irving probably felt some type of way of Dennis Schroeder saying that because he's not Black American. I don't think it was I don't like you, don't call me. I honestly believe he feels that Dennis Schroeder is a Black European. And he should not be allowed to use that word. I honestly think that's
that's wild because I didn't even know that. I mean, yeah, the last name might throw a little bit towards it, but I had no idea that Schroeder was from Germany. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had no idea. I didn't, because I mean, I never really followed his career. Only thing I noticed about him was when he looked like a leopard with the hair. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, who is this dude? But I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea. But you know what? That's kind of wild because you got to also, you got to think about Kyrie and his upbringing. You know what I'm saying? But even like sometimes, like with me, with we have our culture. You know what I'm saying? Then when you interact with a lot of Black Americans here, you know, saying there, and when it comes to the word and stuff like that, and I'm kind of like, yo, who are you talking to? Like, especially if I don't know you, and they're, and they're casually using the word, and I'm just like, what? Like, who are you talking to? Like, bruh, you don't know me. Like, I want to put your head through a wall right now. You know what I'm saying? But then I realized it's like growing up, realizing that it's used in certain ways, and then who shouldn't be talking to you with that word. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I've had some friends, of course, over the years, non-Black, where they've used the word, but I knew right then and there how it was being used. And why it was being, and I realized there was no hate or anger towards me when the word was being used, because it wasn't just being used towards me, it was used towards other races, same races, all that also. So that's one thing on that side. But you know what I'm saying, when it comes down straight down to it, man, it's just like not everybody understands. They just don't understand at all. They use it, a lot of them, and that's where it gets me also, where we've had the instances where people don't realize that certain words how they're perceived. You know what I'm saying? Like dude from the Heat that got traded.
Yeah, Myers Leonard. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like they're using words that they don't know anything about the word. They've heard it through friends. You know what I'm saying? They've heard it through friends and whatnot. I was like, oh yeah, well, everybody calls us like this. You know what I'm saying? It's just to each other. You know what I'm saying? And not realizing like, yo, like this word is literally like not a good thing by any means. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy to me all around.
Now, and also why I also say I believe this is my hypothesis. This is my belief. I believe that Kyrie Irving was upset with Dennis Schroeder because of his place of origin, is because you can't tell me playing in the NBA all these years you have never had another player say nigga to you. Mind you, I've sat courtside at an NBA game.
You
It's
hear it all
part
the
of the
time.
game. It's part of it.
I've heard it from home on live television, and I'm like, and I catch it. You know what I'm saying? But you don't realize that either the sportscasters didn't realize it or whatever. But you hear it. Like I've heard it in the college game in this last tournament. I've heard it, and I was like, am I the only one that caught that? You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, that's why I'm like, this can't be the first time Kyrie Irving's ever heard someone say, or even the first time that someone, let's say Dennis Schroeder was upset with them. You can't tell me this is the first time an NBA player for the first time out of anger said that to you in all these years. I mean,
right.
So yeah, now after the game, he, like I said, he mentioned that what happened. Dennis Schroeder just kind of didn't really address that specific thing. And then the very next game, which was supposed to be played Monday, was played yesterday, Tuesday, for another reason. We'll get into that. But Kyrie Irving sat out for personal reasons. I am not sure if he is playing tonight against the 76ers. I'm not sure. I have not seen any information yet. If anyone out there is listening right now, just let us know if you've heard anything about Kyrie Irving. But I believe Kyrie Irving sat out for a specific reason. Some people are saying he was upset with what happened with Dennis Schroeder, so he sat out. I don't think it's that. I think it's something else. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's now get to the favorite teams of the hosts here. We are Washington Wizards fans. The Washington Wizards on their second West Coast road trip, and they beat the Warriors.
Yeah,
they beat the Warriors. First time I think they've beaten the Warriors in Oakland in
a
long time. I don't know.
It's a while.
The weird thing is, though, over the last few years, even when they had Katie and Clay there, they played the Warriors well somehow.
Yeah. It's so weird.
But they beat them in San Francisco. I forgot they moved from Oakland to San Francisco. They did lose against the Suns, but it was close at the end of the third quarter. Fourth quarter, they just fell apart. Right. Then 2 nights ago, they defeated the Utah Jazz to sweep them for the season.
And that's the top team in the NBA.
Yes, mind you, they snapped the 25-game home winning streak for Utah. They're the only team to beat Utah all year at home. They swept Utah. Listen to this. They swept Utah. They swept Denver. So far, they've beaten the Lakers one game out of one game.
Right.
Out of the 2 games with the Clippers, they split. 3 games have been played against the Nets. I don't care that all 3 players weren't there. At least 2 of them were there for those games.
Right.
They've beat the Nets twice. Why is this team this bad? Why are they 14 games? I think it's 14 games behind.
We know why.
So we know even why. In the win, I'm frustrated because I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, y'all could play these teams. Y'all could be up for these teams.
We play good teams. We play well against good teams. Against teams we're supposed to beat, we play terrible. Every single time.
I'm almost like, why don't we just go to the West
Right.
and just play these teams? Like,
Right.
we're playing so well against them. Now tonight they play against the Sacramento Kings, one of those bad teams that beat them a few weeks ago here in Washington. They're out there in Sacramento. They have to win this game. They have to win this game, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Let's get to the favorite team of our co-host Matthew White. We miss Matthew.
Matt, we miss you, bro.
Come on soon. He's a Los Angeles Lakers fan. The injury update on LeBron. LeBron looks like he's 2 to 3 weeks out from returning. However, Anthony Davis may be returning sooner. Now, the Lakers, I believe, they're in 6th place right now, trying to tread water.
They dropped down even further.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. But I think once they all get back, they should be fine. Also, the confidence of beating the Nets, I think that's going to help a lot of the role players who won that game for the Lakers.
Oh yeah, definitely. And especially with Schroeder being ejected, you know what I'm saying? And that game was so close at that time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and then the Lakers should be getting fans back in the next few weeks. I know it's not going to be full capacity, but think about the playoffs. You're going to have fans in Staples Center, which has always been a home court advantage for the Lakers in the playoffs, having those fans there. So it's gonna be real fun when all these guys return. Forgot to get into this, but let's get into this quickly. The NBA with their postseason schedule. I never really looked into it. I know they were having a play-in tournament, but I never really looked into it. Do you know the format of the play-in?
No, you gotta tell me this one.
So there's a playing tournament between.
It's not just a playing game like last year.
No,
it's an actual tournament.
My understanding is, and I could be wrong on this one.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is there's supposed to be let me see if I can just bring it up. I saw it last night. I saw it last night, but what's his name? Mark Cuban, who agreed to it. He said, looking back now, hindsight 2020, he's like, man, this does not look good. And he's like, I'm kind of upset that I voted for this. So here we go. When it comes to the standings, the 9th and 10th place team in each conference will play, I believe it's just one game. Yes. It says teams with the 7th and 8th highest winning percentage of each conference will each have 2 opportunities to win one game to earn a playoff spot. The teams with the 9th and 10th place in each conference will each have to win 2 consecutive games to earn a playoff spot. Now that's when, okay, hold on. Okay, it says at the conclusion of the regular season, but before the first round of the playoffs, the teams with the 7th, basically the 7th and 8th seed,
they would just have to win one game.
Yes. The team with the 9th seed will host the 10th seed in a 9-10 game. So it's just one game. Mm-hmm. Whoever wins that game, the loser of the 7. Jeez, this is confusing.
That's so weird to me.
I'm still trying to.
Yeah.
Basically,
because there's only going to be 8 teams in the playoffs, right?
So here it is. The 7th and 8th will play each other. Whoever wins will be the 7th seed. The 8th seed will then play the winner of the 9-10 seed. And then whoever wins, and the 8th seed just needs to win one game.
Right.
The 9-10 seed winner just has to win both to then become the 8th seed.
Okay, so 7 and 8 play each other.
Mm-hmm.
The winner of that is the 7th seed.
Mm-hmm.
The 9 and 10 game, whoever wins that moves up to play the 8th seed.
loser, yes, or the 8th seed, yes.
Basically the 8th seed, and they have to beat them to become the 8th seed.
Yes,
They have to beat them twice.
Yes.
Okay. They had to beat them twice, but the 8th seed just needs to win one out of 2 games.
Exactly.
Okay.
This is great live streaming, learning on the fly.
That's crazy. Now when you think about it that way, yeah. Because you could be like with Dallas. Dallas could be the 7th seed. Dallas could lose against that 8th seed. Then now has to win. They have to win again. They have to win again to stay in it. Or if they lose, then they just can't lose twice.
Yes. I mean, they basically can't go on a 3-game losing streak at the end.
Right.
Which can't happen. We don't know. I mean, 3-game losing streaks are not rare for the 7th or 8th seed in the conference.
Right.
So Mark Cuban voices frustration, and then also Luka Doncic, he said this is pretty pointless. I'll have to wait and see how it looks, to be honest.
Yeah.
I want to see how it looks. If it's not good, you can scrap it. I personally believe that this is kind of off topic, but I believe the NBA, there's so much basketball talent in the United States. I wish we could do some like relegation, like international soccer.
Right.
Well, the worst team has to drop down.
Just like EPL,
drop down.
like the Premier League, if you don't make it, then you drop down to the G League for a season,
come back up, things like that. I know it's something that will have to take probably a couple decades to work out, so you could get, because I know the big issue is
they would have to have more teams too, more cities, more teams. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Oh, other news, I forgot. The Minnesota Timberwolves. There's a minority group that is headed by Alex Rodriguez, baseball great. They're becoming they're getting a minority stake in the Minnesota Timberwolves, and in 2 years should be getting the majority stake. And things got real interesting because the language of the report, and it looks like the language of the sale of the team or the sell of that stake, looks like Minnesota could move after 2 years. Now, Minnesota's really bad, but Minnesota is a basketball town. And everyone is thinking about Seattle and things like that. Personally, I think the NBA is going to expand to 32 teams, I think. And obviously one of those teams is going to be Seattle. I think they're going to try and do Vegas and then have to move one of those, probably like Memphis to the east. So you have it so it's equal.
Well, they need to put New Orleans back in the east.
I mean, but Memphis is more east than.
Well, I think Memphis just goes to the east too.
I gotta look,
because you're going to add Seattle. If you add Seattle and Vegas, that's 2 teams.
Yes,
2 teams from the west need to go to the east. Would be Memphis and New Orleans.
Would it be 2
at
teams?
least that? Yeah, they would have to. How many?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, it would still have to be 2 teams, right?
Yes. Well, yeah. Those 2 teams.
Yeah. And then if you add 2 more, so if you add 4, because there's 28 now, right?
No, it's 30.
Oh, there's 30. Why did I thought there was only 28 for some reason?
Yeah, it's 30.
Yeah.
So if you knew it like the NFL, we have 32 teams, 82 game schedule. You can still do it pretty well.
Yeah,
decent balanced schedule. Like it could happen.
It could probably even up the whole East Coast, West Coast trips too. You know what I'm saying? Having those teams stay over. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, man, it's that's a possibility. But I think the NBA is going to push really hard to keep Minnesota there because they are a basketball town.
Yeah,
and then just try and
or
the 2 expansion teams.
Or if, say, that Minnesota team decides to move to Vegas or Seattle, they just say, hey, well, Minnesota's getting another team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they'll just
happen.
Just to keep it that way. Yeah.
That could definitely happen.
Baltimore doesn't need a new team, though. Nah.
Look, so
Well-
and no, hold on. Which game was it? Not NBA 2K19, which has a very good franchise mode.
Uh-huh.
2K20 is like they got rid of a lot of the features, so it wasn't as good. But 2K19, I'm still playing it because I'm the general manager and they did an expansion. So obviously they added Seattle, but
Okay.
my expansion team that I created was Baltimore.
Oh, for real?
And
Okay.
we had the rivalry with Baltimore and Washington. And I was just like, Baltimore did have a team way back in the day, which was the Bullets, now the Wizards. I'm like, I think Baltimore can keep a professional basketball team.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm sure
there's
they
enough fans in Baltimore that would go to games.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Now the issue is the arena. They don't really
that Royal Farms Arena. It was
That's
the old one. That joint's so small and it's terrible.
I
Like,
mean,
I don't even know how they have concerts in that joint. But
I mean, that's where the Bullets played. That's how long.
Right.
So that's the thing. I know there's been rumors about if they were to put a team in the East, a new team, it will probably be Louisville. They were thinking about that because they already have Louisville's Kentucky's a basketball state. And then also just the Yum Center is fairly new, so you don't have to even like really worry about building a new stadium right away. So
right.
that was one area. I know people try to avoid Florida, but this Tampa thing is getting interesting because Toronto's there right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, well, can you put in? I don't think you could put a third NBA team in Florida. Florida's too fickle with their sports. Way too fickle.
So fickle with their sports.
Even the Miami Heat in their heyday, like people weren't coming to the games on time. Getting there late, leaving early, things like that. So Florida, I don't think you can do it. But Baltimore, man, it's a basketball town, man. It's a sports town. Baltimore's a sports town.
It's a sports town.
As bad as the Orioles have been, their fans still go.
Yeah.
Not every game, but they still go.
But yeah, opening day is packed. After that, yeah. You could get tickets.
Yeah, man. Let's now get into the NFL. Jadaveon Clowney, 1-year deal with the Cleveland Browns.
That's crazy.
It's an 8-year deal. Could get as much as $10 million. He's going to be on the other side of the defensive line of Myles Garrett.
Yeah, that's sick. That's like an upgraded version of Chase Young and oh man, I can't even think of his name right now. That's how much I've been away from football right now.
Chase Young, don't say Kerrigan.
No, not Kerrigan. Kerrigan was on the same side with Chase.
Montez Sweat.
Yeah, Sweat. It's like a super version. It's a super version of those two. It's crazy.
So yeah, I think it's a very good deal for the Browns and also Jadaveon Clowney. 1-year deal. Jadaveon Clowney might just be that mercenary from now on. Just say 1-year deals. Let's see where this goes. I'm not committing long term to any team. Also in the NFL, have you been seeing how Justin Fields is dropping in mock drafts, but Mac Jones is rising? Have you seen that?
Yeah. It's because he's an Ohio State quarterback. That's exactly why. Ohio State quarterbacks, regardless of how great they've been in college, have done nothing in the NFL. And if they do anything in the NFL, they do it at another position.
I'll say this. that narrative is a little tired, especially when you look back.
It's
and
the truth.
you look back and you're
There-
like, those
no-
guys weren't
no-
really good at Ohio State. They just
no,
won.
what are you talking about?
Like
We're
when you
talking
go
about
back-
Heisman quarterbacks.
yeah, but when you go back and look at it, you're like, yo, were they really that good? Like
I-
Justin Fields.
Are you saying Justin Fields is really that good?
Justin Fields, let's put it like this. I'll put it like this. Justin Fields is the best of any Ohio State quarterback that's ever played in the last 25 years. Like,
Yeah,
it's clear
he-
leaps and bounds.
Look, it's not leaps and bounds. It's only a year more than what's his name.
Even in
Only a year more. Only a year. Only a year more. That's the only difference. That's the only difference right now.
I
It's
think
1 year.
I think the narrative is a little tired, especially when you look at Justin Fields, what he's testing, his what is it, the Wonderlic.
No, yeah,
like-
there's nothing saying that these quarterbacks aren't smart.
Mhm.
It's just and they're very athletic. It's just that they never pan out in the NFL.
Also why
It's just-
I say it's narrative. I mean, it's a tired narrative. Is there's been like 3 different coaches with 3 different offenses, like during that same span. So I'm like, we got to stop saying that it's either they're good or they're not. And I think Justin Fields is good. I can be wrong. Just like, I mean, I did think Haskins would be okay if given a chance. So
No.
far, it doesn't look
Nope.
good.
Nope, don't look at it all.
But Justin Fields, I just find it crazy how Justin Fields was the clear number 2 guy when
He was never the clear number 2. Never.
this season.
Never.
So who was the clear
No.
number? Who was number 2 when it comes to
It
quarterback?
was
Like during the season, not after the season.
during this season.
Yes. Because that's my issue. He was the clear number 2 during the season. And since the bowl games have ended, he has dropped. Mac Jones is rising and Zach Wilson is rising. And I'm just like, we're not playing games and they're rising somehow.
No. I think he was clear number 2 because he was at Ohio State and because of the team. That's why he was clear number 2. I don't think he was ever clear number 2 in anybody's minds. I would still put Mac. I would still have Mac ahead of him. I would still. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My man. Look. Hey, Derek. I told him. I gave him a little headway about our Twitter argument earlier about the DMV. I'm the unofficial mayor of the DMV, sir. The unofficial mayor, aka the gatekeeper.
Yo, Derek, what's up, man? That's why I'm laughing as soon as I saw the comment. I was like, yo, this is so
Oh,
man.
I'm trying to tell y'all, you know what I'm saying?
But
But no,
back-
I never, be honest with you, I never, as good as Justin Fields is, I never had him higher than 4.
okay.
I never had him higher than 4.
Look.
It's just, and you know what? It's because he's an Ohio State quarterback. If he was at, I say, if he was doing what he did at Ohio State at, say, Texas, then yes, I would probably put him at number 2.
We will see. We got a couple years to see. We'll see.
No, I feel you. Trust me, I feel you.
My big issue is just how he's dropping, and then we're seeing that the 49ers made a overhaul, traded 3 number 1s to move up.
Yeah.
And I honestly think it's smoke signals, but they're talking about going for Mac Jones. And I'm like, Mac Jones is not the second best quarterback. He's not the third best quarterback. He is not even, those are just quarterbacks. Let's not even get the prospects. Because if you start adding every other position in the game, I don't think he's top 10 overall prospect. But hey, it is a quarterback league. Teams want their quarterbacks. I know that comment from Dan Orlovsky a couple weeks ago really affected Justin Fields because he pretty much passed the word of what someone else told him.
Right.
And then teams
That was reckless. That was a real reckless thing, something like that.
and then he tried to cover it up. He ultimately apologized for that because he realized, you saying that on ESPN is going to affect some stuff.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. But I don't think. But even though San Francisco was trading, my whole thing was, they were going after a quarterback, but I wasn't seeing it as being Justin Fields for them going for Justin Fields. Now they still could go ahead and do that because
I think
it's John Lynch. It's John Lynch. You know what I'm saying? He loves to throw up smoke signals. You know what I'm saying?
I think they're going for Fields.
Like they probably will go for Fields though.
Oh man, yo, Derek, I heard about that. I heard y'all.
I'm trying to tell you. Still gonna say to this day, Howard County is not part of the DMV. I'm calling it right now. Them, Bowie. Bowie's basically Crofton, sir.
I mean, it's PG County.
It's Anne Arundel County.
Until they get annexed, then
it's Anne Arundel County. You know what I'm saying? We've always seen Bowie as not that. In the whatever is PG County, but it's not PG County proper by any means. You know what I'm saying? They've always tried to get out of PG County and go to Anne Arundel County. They're basically Crofton. They're Crofton light. That's what they are.
Crofton adjacent.
Like there's a Crofton adjacent. You know what I'm saying? They're like, there's a couple. I'll give credit. Like I know a lot of people in Bowie. I used to be out in Bowie a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple people that you would definitely be like, yo, you definitely DMV for sure.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? But the rest, nah, they Crofton adjacent, aka Crofton light. Derek, I keep it messy, bro. I keep it messy. That's what we do around here.
That's gonna have to be your new nickname, the DMV, the gatekeeper of the DMV.
Facts. Gatekeeper of the DMV, the unofficial mayor of PG County. Me.
Julian Edelman retired this week, and automatically the discussion came to: is he a Hall of Famer? That was part of our family discussion. No. Go on social media. Go on ESPN. It was a topic of conversation.
Oh, they were talking about it too. I thought they were talking. I thought everybody was talking him going to Tampa Bay. Well, doing a Gronk. You know what I'm saying?
There's that rumor too. But man, it was a topic of conversation on a significant amount of ESPN and Fox Sports. Is he a Hall of Famer? We spoke in our group chat, our fantasy football group chat about it. Thad, is he a Hall of Famer?
I think eventually he will. You know what I'm saying? Definitely eventually he will be in Hall of Fame. I wouldn't say go as to say in when his eligibility is available that he's going in right away. No, not by any means. There's so many more wide receivers that should be getting it ahead of him. So, but I think eventually he will get in.
I don't think Julian Edelman is a Hall of Fame player at all. Like at all. Like you go on NFL Reference and you look up the stats. It's like, what? Like
Welker should get in before him. I'm just saying, Welker should get in before him.
He should, and he isn't, and no one's clamoring for him to get into the Hall of Fame. Before I even get to just the other guys that should be in there, I mean, for me to say you're in the Hall of Fame, you have to be top 5 at your position for a significant amount of time. For me to even say, okay, you're a lock, you got to be top 10 for a significant amount of time at your position for you to get in eventually. Julian Edelman was not even top 20 at really any point of his career when you think about it. Now he's had great postseason success. My brother mentioned, I think he has most receptions, most yards, most touchdowns in the postseason.
I mean, you should when you're a wide receiver that's in the playoffs every year for like what 8?
I mean, every year.
Every year for like 8, 7, 8 years. Yeah.
Because of two people, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. I mean, of course you're going to be in the games.
Right.
He does have a Super Bowl MVP. To me, a Super Bowl MVP is not enough. Timmy Smith has a Super Bowl MVP. Are we putting him in the Hall of Fame? Larry Brown, is he a Hall of Famer? Who actually had a couple years as a Dallas Cowboy and as an MVP? Is he getting in? Is he what's his name? Dexter Jackson? Like Super Bowl MVPs are not gimmies. Deion Branch has a Super Bowl MVP for the Patriots. Like, no, he's not a Hall of Famer. And then when you start thinking about who should be in there already, Torrey Holt isn't in there. Isaac Bruce, I think he just got there, or if he's not, but Isaac Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Who else can we think of just off the top of my head? Oh, Jimmy Smith of the Jaguars. Chad Ochocinco.
Really?
Yes, better than Julian Edelman. Yes.
No, I mean, I know he's better than Julian Edelman. But
he should be a Hall of Famer just off of some of his stats and just the fact that
how many seasons did he play?
More than 10.
Why did it seem like he was in like for a very short amount of period?
He was more than 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, Brandon Marshall. If we're you know, I know he hasn't been 5 years out, but I mean, Brandon Marshall by far better receiver than Julian Edelman ever was. So
I don't know. His stock's starting to go down with me with some of his
he's an interesting dude. Yeah,
his rants,
especially on his I Am Legend. He's different, but he's still cool, man.
Oh,
yeah, man. So it's just Julian Edelman is not a Hall of Famer. Real quick, what did I have in the quick here? I gotta look at the notes I had here. The Masters. Did you watch any of it?
No, this is the first year. You know, because of COVID, man, I've been so off on time that this is my first year I've never watched any of the Masters because I didn't even realize it was the Masters until they announced the winner.
Hideki Matsuyama, first Japanese golfer to win not just the Masters, I believe, a PGA major.
Yeah, I think so. And he, from some of the clips, it looked like he might not win it. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, I think he hit one in the water. You know what I'm saying? Like he missed the easy putt. Like it was wild seeing him win it. You know what I'm saying? Just in clips. I'm like, damn, what's going on with the Masters? You know what I'm saying? But I heard he was up pretty good. And then it was like the last day was when he was messing up a little bit, but he was so far ahead going in that he just had to make a couple putts and he won.
Yeah, man. So yeah, first Japanese golfer to win a PGA Tour major. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. Let's get into our champ and chump of the week. Every week we celebrate those that do well and we criticize those that do not. Starting with you, BigThad. Who's your champ of the week?
Champ of the week is the Cleveland Browns.
All right. Oh, hold on. You know, we can't.
You gotta have the sound effect.
I wasn't ready. Say that again.
My champ of the week is the Cleveland Browns.
Baby, want a champ.
Mm-hmm. Why are they the champ of the week?
Like their defensive line is looking crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? They just signed Jadaveon Clowney. He's gonna be on the other side from Myles Garrett. Like, can you imagine being a quarterback playing against this team with those two coming around? Just those two just coming around. Just it's gonna make everybody else look so much better on that defensive line because there's no way either one of those tackles is going after both of them by their own. They got to double both of them. So it's just going to open everything else up. It's sick. It's sick.
My champ of the week goes to Paul George. Paul George has been playing pretty well the last week.
Baby want a champ.
Ooh.
About shooting almost 60% from the field.
Ooh.
50% from three, and they have been balling. I mean, at this point, the last week and a half, they've been the best team in the NBA. They are the champ of the week for me.
Look, you already know what's gonna happen. Playoff P's gonna come. You already know what's gonna happen.
I hope not. I hope not for his sake. I hope we don't get pandemic P again.
Right. Pandemic playoff P, man. Oh, that's crazy.
BigThad, who's your chump of the week?
My chump of the week is Clint Capella of Atlanta Hawks.
Because you're a chump.
Yeah, man. Explain why he's the chump of the week.
The most craziest posterizing I have seen in a while. And I would say it might just be the best posterizing of the season by Miles Bridges.
Wow.
And yeah. And I mean, I love the dunk by the rookie. But this one, yeah. But this one, man, if you ever get the chance to look at that clip, you just the look on Clint Capella's face when that dunk happened, it was priceless, yo. Priceless.
Well, if you're watching the stream, we're gonna get to that dunk right now.
The world
of course we gotta have an ad.
Superior
Of course we gotta have an ad.
You know what I'm saying? Always got the ads, man. And I'm not paying to get the ads off. You know what I'm saying? No, I'll wait for the ad. I'll be watching something good too next year when the ad comes.
Transcend.
I gotta turn it down. I gotta
just mute it. Just mute it.
I did, but then they make you like watch, like you gotta have the audio on. So I did. Here we go. Hold on. Let me pull it up right now.
Yeah, get it on screen.
Add to the stream. Boom. Let me go here. Let me go. Full.
Yep. There we go.
Here we go. If I could.
What are you doing?
Oh,
what are you doing there? What are you doing there?
All right,
you had it. What happened?
I don't know. Hold on.
You had it on full screen and then it just disappeared. This is great.
How about this? I will. Let me open it up. We're learning on the fly sometimes with this, and I bet you they're gonna have another ad. I'm gonna be so upset. So can you see it?
No.
Or you just hear it? Oh
yeah, we hear it. Come on, man. Come on. Share your screen.
Let me hit share screen again. Boom.
Split us to the side. Split us. You gotta put us to the side and put it up on the screen.
I forgot I made changes to it.
Yeah, now just rewind it a little bit.
Let's rewind.
Cody Zeller offensive Bridges.
Look at Clint. Look at him. He's just like, oh. Got Melo out there dancing and whatnot. Look at him. He's just like, oh, he looks so defeated right there.
Oh my goodness.
Looks so defeated.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. So yeah, man. Clint Capella is your chump of the week. My chump of the week has to go to the Brooklyn Nets.
Because you're a chump.
You can't lose to that Lakers team without LeBron and
nah.
and AD.
Not at all.
Lose to that Brooklyn team.
Then again, you know what? That also tells how good actually Andre Drummond is also.
Drummond played really well that game.
Yeah.
If I were to give a player of the game, it would have to be him because after Schroeder left, the defense, he wasn't allowing anyone in that paint, getting rebounds, just aggressive on the defensive end, and was decent enough on offense to put up, I think, 20 points on like close to 50% shooting. So yeah, man. Yeah, Drummond. But yeah, the Nets, that's Chump of the Week right there. Chump of the Week. Let's now get to our sports free zone. We got to talk about some unfortunate news real quick. Another unarmed black man was killed by the police. His name is Daunte Wright in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, I believe. Or is it Brooklyn City? I can't remember. But it was a traffic stop. There was a warrant for his arrest. He was being handcuffed. He attempted to get back into the vehicle. The officer repeated that she was going to use her taser. She repeated, "I'm going to use I'm going to use my taser. I'm going to use my taser." And then ended up using her firearm. One shot to the back. Died shortly after. So this is another unarmed black man killed by the police. This is not too far away from Minneapolis, where the Derek Chauvin trial is going on. The officer that killed George Floyd. There's been there's been protesting outside the precinct. There has been some looting, but mostly protesting going on right now. Thad, what you got to say about this situation?
How can you mistake your taser for your service weapon? And I haven't reached out to my usual cohorts about this situation by any means, but me personally, I've held a taser before. I've held a weapon before, service weapon of a friend.
My fault.
What?
Real quick. Go ahead. Repeat.
No. Oh, okay. No, I was just saying that I just don't understand what's going on because usually I will talk to friends of mine who are in law enforcement, you know what I'm saying, about some of the stuff that's going on. And this time I haven't had the chance to talk to them about this, but me personally, I've held a taser in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I've felt the weight of it. I've held a service weapon in my hands. I've shot, I've gone to the range, shot their personal weapons, stuff like that, and different types, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But from what they have told me, they know where their tools are on their body at all times. And these are my personal friends. You know what I'm saying? So they know when they go get up, put on their uniform, and they go to leave the house and they're going on duty, they know exactly where their tools are. They know exactly where their weapon is. They know where their extra mags are. They know where their taser is. They know where their handcuffs are. They don't have to look for it, it's muscle memory. You know what I'm saying? So they know where all their equipment is, where it is, where it's going to be. They even know where their microphone is. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have to look for it. It's just straight muscle memory. You know what I'm saying? So how do you mistake your taser for your service weapon? Like, I just don't understand. And it's not like this is a rookie. You know what I'm saying? She's 26 years in. 26 years. So you do the same thing every day. for 26 years and you mistake where your gun is when the whole time you're saying, I'm going to tase you. I'm going to tase you. Now, mind you, I don't know if there was a video. I haven't seen a video or anything like that.
I saw it.
I just haven't seen the video. And I'm just saying for myself, I haven't seen the video. And if you're saying, I'm going to tase you, I'm going to tase you, I'm assuming, and that's what I'm saying, I haven't seen it. I'm assuming you already have your taser in your hand when you're saying, I'm going to tase you, I'm going to tase you. Now, mind you, how police officers proper use of using their weapon, that taser is in eye view, or their service weapon is in eye view of themselves. So even at that point, you would be able to see if you have your gun or your taser in your hand. You know what I'm saying? And just off of, I would say peripheral vision, but that's not the word for it. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're looking at that offender or whatever and you're pointing, you still can see your hands. You can see what you're holding. So you're telling me, you're saying, I'm going to tase you, I'm going to tase you, and you don't realize that you have your gun on you? You know what I'm saying? You have your gun in your hands? Like, come on. Like, there's something, I don't care if you're frightened or you've lost your train of thought or whatever. But unless you had your eyes closed the whole time, you know what I'm saying? And of course, if he's in handcuffs in his car, like, what were you looking at that you didn't notice that you didn't have your taser in your hand, but you had your gun in your hand? That's with me. I'm gonna have to go look at the video myself just to watch it, because this shit's getting out of hand, bro. It's just getting out of hand altogether.
I got a personal text message from cousin Nikki. He also added she was a trainer for about 10 years to new officers.
That's right.
Actually, the officer that was with her was one of those new officers that were being trained.
Oh, so she was a FTO, field training officer.
Yep.
Yeah. And training at the time. That's wow. Yeah. I don't understand it.
Look, I'm gonna be cynical. I believe she was upset about the situation, and she just said, "I'm going to tase you," knowing she was going to shoot him. I personally believe that, and was going to use at the end of the day, I could say I was nervous. I got scared. We've seen it countless times. We just saw it, a year and a half ago with Botham Jean in Texas, where officer went into his apartment and quote unquote got scared because she saw a black man in his apartment eating ice cream on his couch. So she shot him several times.
Right.
So, I mean, and yes, she was convicted, but the punishment was 10 years with the possibility of parole.
Yeah.
I think it's all a setup. You could say you're scared, boom, boom, boom. And then, honestly think nothing's going to come out of this. I honestly believe. I know she was arrested today. There's charges.
Yeah,
but honestly, I don't think she's going to be found guilty on this. I don't think so.
Yeah, she resigned Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she resigned Monday. So I didn't know that they arrested her.
Just like an hour or two ago. Now, I want to bring this back to Kyrie Irving. I believe Kyrie Irving sat out that game against the Timberwolves, ironically, the Minnesota team, because of this situation. We had the situation on Saturday against the Lakers in Brooklyn. Their next game was supposed to be Monday. This shooting happened Sunday. All Minneapolis teams decided to not play games on Monday. You had the Twins playing, the Timberwolves, and the Wild, and they all decided they were postponing their games for at least Monday. The Minnesota Timberwolves Brooklyn Nets game played yesterday in the afternoon to fit in the game so then Brooklyn could get back to, I believe, either Philly or Brooklyn. I don't know where they're playing tonight, but I do believe Kyrie Irving did not play because of that situation. Then also having to play the Wolves, I don't think it had to do with the Schroeder incident, but I think that was the reason. So man, we got to pray for the family and the friends of this young man. He has a young child, and for all those who say, well, he shouldn't have been trying to get back in the car, look, he shouldn't have, but he also shouldn't die because of that. Like, he shouldn't die because of that. It should just be additional charges. You apprehend him, okay, additional charges.
Right.
You know, I'm tired of seeing gunmen with ARs and other type of high power weapons being able to be apprehended and brought to justice. But we got a kid who had a warrant because of a misdemeanor.
And a warrant because of COVID.
Yes, that's another thing, because of how things are going with the mail and the judicial system and all that. There's a backlog of stuff, and we're seeing this, and that was why he had a warrant, because of clerical issues. He was going to wash his car when he got pulled over. And then this is also after what came out late last week, a video that occurred, I believe, in December, down close to the Tidewater area in Virginia, where a serviceman got pulled over by police. He had no idea what was going on. He drove to a well-lit gas station, pulled over. Police officers have their guns drawn out. He's like, I don't know what's going on. He says, I'm scared. And then they said, one of the officers says, yes, you should be scared. They end up pepper spraying him, getting him to the ground, all of that. They then realized that the reason why they pulled him over was because they thought he didn't have a license plate on his brand new car. The temporary tags were actually in the window. And then they threatened, they said, okay, we're going to let you go, but you got to promise not to, try and push the issue, not to try and, get us in trouble. And they're saying, if you try and do that, we're going to go to your superior in the army. We're going to threaten you that way. Now he has a federal lawsuit against these officers. The officer, the main one, was fired just this weekend because the video finally surfaced. So, man, it's wild, man. And then we have this Derek Chauvin case that's going on right now. The prosecution has rested their case. It is now the defense's side to try and, put out their witnesses and have their defense. We said this last week, and I'll reiterate this again. If Derek Chauvin is found not guilty, Minneapolis will be an ancient city like Atlantis. Like it won't be there. It won't be there because of this. So, man, I hope they do the right thing. Let's get to some better news to talk about. Usher Raymond.
Oh, Lord.
Word came out that what is it, a Vegas show that he's doing?
I think so. I think he's he's in Vegas for a show. But Usher has been known over the years to be a frequent visitor of dancers.
Yes. Now
dancing establishments. And
a few of the strippers, let's just be real. That's what they are. It's not disrespectful. It's just
no, it's right. It's right.
They are strippers.
It's
all good. I mean, gotta I got respect for the sex workers. It's all good.
Jeez. Oh, I mean, you said sex workers.
I mean, it's terrible. It should be
terrible.
It should be decriminalized in the United States. Shouldn't even be illegal. Let's be real. Let consenting adults be consenting adults. And look, I'm a Christian, but I can't control everyone.
Right.
Views. I can't be putting my views on everyone. Like, you know, if a young man or woman wants to, you know, have a good time with a stripper or exotic dancer, let them do it, man. Like,
messy.
Let them do it. They gotta, you know, let them do it. Anyway,
so messy.
Usher is being alleged of trying to pay these exotic dancers with fake money that has faces of him on the dollar bill.
Yo, like well, let's just say he was throwing money up. He was making it rain with his own dollar bills.
Yes. Now, his reps are trying to say no, it was part of a promo for his show that he's supposed to have in Vegas coming up soon, or maybe it just started. And it's stuff that he does for like music videos. It's part of the, you know, the shtick. Well, you know, the stripper's like, nah, man. He tried to really pay us with this. Then you have people who have been coming out, and some of them seem pretty credible. They're saying that Usher is known for like shoplifting, like going places and, you know, putting on stuff, trying it on, and just kind of like walking out.
Hey, man, look,
you know,
things happen. Things happen. You know what I'm saying?
Person said he is banned from what store was it? They were like, him and his wife are banned from this specific store because they would just come in, kind of try stuff, you know, try and smooge up the sales associates because he's you know,
he's Usher.
Yeah.
Yo, hey man, look, let the man live his life, yo. He ain't get caught yet.
Yeah, so that's what the word on the street is.
Usher dollars, huh? Usher dollars. Hilarious.
So yeah, Usher is it ain't looking too good for him. What do you think?
I think it might have been. I mean, it might have been a promo thing. I mean, he maybe like eventually he was gonna like give them money, or he might have gave, hey, hair management, give this money to the girls or whatever. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I had a friend. Look, I had a friend, and I'm not gonna name my friends, but I have a friend who once went to the strip club with all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I wasn't there, but this is the story I've heard because I knew they went. I just couldn't go. That he was throwing dollar coins on stage. I mean, it's $1, right? And I think he had just came back from overseas or whatever, and he had dollar coins, and he was throwing coins on the stage because all you hear is ding, 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 ding against the glass. It was great.
It's an evil world we live in.
I mean, it happens, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Usher, you know, Usher dollars. You know, Usher dollars might be worth more than $1. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Paul Pierce and his boys were throwing poker chips at a young lady last week when we spoke about it.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So
the dollar coins got more value than poker chips when you think about it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Where are you going with these random poker chips?
Right. Where you cashing them out at?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Just for like, yeah.
Or how are you cashing them out? Yeah, we're so messy. We're just so messy.
Talking about Usher, great segue to the next topic. We had a discussion in the family group chat, and I'm gonna share what the meme was for you all so you can see. Hopefully this sharing goes a lot easier.
It should. It's just a
last
picture.
time. Let me get this tab open. Boom. Let me add the tab. Boom. Here we go. For those that can't really see, I can't really get any closer, but it says
it's clear.
One has to go, and all their music. We have on the top left, The Weeknd, top middle, Bruno Mars, top right, Prince, bottom left, Michael Jackson, bottom middle, Usher Raymond, and bottom right, we have Chris Brown. So we had this conversation in our family group chat, and it got kind of, well, according to them, it got a little contentious. Not really contentious for me.
No, it wasn't contentious at all, bro. Like in my mind, because I knew once it came. Look, this is the thing. Because I sent the picture.
You did send it,
and the first response was, "The weekend gotta go." I said, "Yo, y'all gonna start some trouble." Y'all gonna start some trouble because that's Jeremy's guy. You know what I'm saying?
So one of my cousins and one of my siblings, not even brothers, siblings,
Yeah, they
decided to chime in, and they're going to be joining us now. Let's welcome
our
brother Marcus and Chrissy, the second time on the podcast.
It's about to get messy, y'all. It's
third
about
time
to get messy.
Third, you're right. It is the third.
Yeah, that's the third.
So now we're here. And actually, the person who actually started it off with the slander of the weekend was actually Nicholas, who has not even said he was going to come on. How do you start this and then just not?
Because that's I represent Nick.
So, anyways, let's welcome Marcus.
My favorite to all my cousins.
Let's welcome Marcus.
Wow, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. See, you get messy already. You get messy already.
Marcus,
Stop
I need you to unmute yourself. There you go.
I just realized.
Anyways, let's welcome Marcus and Chrissy.
In the car?
For the record, for the record, BigThad, who did you say should be if one had to go?
If one had to go, Bruno Mars, Mr. Steal Your Music.
That is what you said.
Bruno Mars. That's my guy. He got to go.
I said Chris Brown. And it's not that Chris Brown is bad. It's just that Chris Brown hasn't really put out a lot of good stuff recently. Also, we can't negate.
Wow, just recently? Are you talking? You got to go catalog. This is all about catalog here, not recently.
Look, they're all good artists, so I have to narrow it down this way. That's what I'm saying.
I got you.
All good. I'm not saying that Chris Brown is trash. That's the problem with some people. Like someone is that, they're all trash. No, they're not trash. It's just I gotta narrow it down this way.
I'll wait.
I gotta do. So I said Chris Brown. You can't forget the unfortunate news with Rihanna, and also just he drops albums with 30 songs. How many of those songs are actually good when you go back and listen to it? He had that song with Drake that was pretty good last year. What was the name of the song, Chrissy? Since you're a huge,
I've been listening to Questions on repeat, and that's just one of many. But you're referring to the one with the Drake and the dance battle.
Yeah.
No guidance.
The girl you got.
No guidance, son.
No guidance. Yes.
Forever is literally played at like every wedding, but carry on, keep going.
So Chrissy,
you're
right.
Who is the person that has to go, Chrissy? You're the one.
I said The Weeknd is the weakest link.
And why is The Weeknd the weakest list? Marcus, rotate your phone, please. Rotate your phone. There you go.
Oh man.
Okay.
So why is The Weeknd the weakest link?
Can we first of all, okay. So I'm gonna go through these artists again. I just wanted to look at the picture to make sure I have everybody. We have Michael Jackson, which there's no contesting.
The lock.
That's locked. Right below that, we got Prince.
That's a lock.
Also locked. I'm gonna give Bruno, Usher, and Chris Brown all the same. They all dance. They all have an extensive catalog of music. Not really Bruno because he's new. And I'll give Thaddeus that he's a little thievery, but at least he's a little thievescent. But at least he's got a mean two-step. He's an incredible performer. He has sellout shows. Like, he's an amazing artist. And The Weeknd, sometimes he looks scary. Sometimes his music is not catchy. It's not, you don't hear it coming out of every corner of the planet like everybody else on the list. He's the weakest link. And he's weird. Sorry.
He's Canadian.
Now, Marcus. Now,
Toronto.
Marcus, are you there? Like,
He was.
Like,
Yo,
Marcus, you gotta get him a Caputa.
is he in the? Is he in the house?
House next to the router and still can't even figure out what's going on. Anyways, let me just remove them real quick.
Oh
just
man,
so he come back in. Look,
tell him just walk into the room.
I mean, he could. I guess he could come up here.
Yeah, y'all could just be a duo for that.
Oh, there he goes.
No,
turn. Oh, you gotta look. Tell him to turn his camera on. That's probably the problem.
I don't think that's it.
Oh well.
I think he's trying to service instead of Wi-Fi.
Let's
jacking off the Wi-Fi.
Let's get to the weekend here. Why the weekend, or why the weekend cannot be the weakest link?
Marcus is back.
Please explain to me about all the reasons that I've given you why he is not the weakest link in that list.
First of all, the trilogy is probably the best set of mixtapes ever made from any artist, except maybe Lil Wayne and like Future, maybe when it comes to mixtapes. It then was so great that it was able to convert into an album. Those songs came out 10 years ago. They still resonate. When it comes to the music itself, great samples. Not only did he sample hip hop, but also sampled rock. You add the synthesizers.
Most artists.
He can perform in any era with this type of music. Yes, it is dark, but
it looks like he came from outer space.
It is dark, but it is by far more relatable than a lot of other stuff. Some of these other artists. I mean, even the cover, and yes, it was a cover of Dirty Diana. It is the best cover, and the only thing better than it is Michael Jackson's Dirty Diana.
This sounds like a fan.
We're talking about also True Love with Drake, which is just like one of the best features you could think of out there.
Ever?
One of the best features. It's a very good feature. It's a very good feature.
We're gonna compare that to Christopher Brown's features?
Look, I never said Chris Brown was bad.
I'm baffled.
I'm just saying he has a lot of stuff where it's just like, yeah, if I never heard that song, I wouldn't feel like I missed out on something.
He's got a whole lot of, I haven't heard this song and I can't wait to listen to it in a while.
The Weeknd, it's an experience. Like it's
an experience. So, okay, I'm going to be very honest. I also, because you clearly are a fan. I am not a Weeknd.
Well, I've been saying that.
Clearly. I'm not a Weeknd fan. I'm not. I know whatever comes on the radio, maybe he's just not my cup of tea as an artist. I have a very eclectic taste. I listen to everything from country to rock all across the rainbow. But he's not my personal cup of tea. I like the poppiness of Chris Brown, which is the same as most people in that category, except for The Weeknd, which is also why he's the weakest link in my opinion.
Repeat that again.
Most of the people are a little more, poppy and I don't want to say common, but like, everybody listens to them. You can put it on at a wedding and nobody's listening to The Weeknd at a wedding.
So hold on. So now being poppy is a compliment when I thought being poppy was like,
it's a compliment as in like you appeal to the popular culture, you appeal to the masses. I don't think The Weeknd appeals to the masses. In that category, he's the weakest link.
First of all, he does.
He's the least appealing to the masses in that category.
First of all, he's still have you not Starboy?
Sweetheart.
Winning Lights.
And those 6 people,
Heartless.
In popular opinion, he's not getting played before any of those other 5.
Look.
Except in your house.
Look. He will be played before those, except Michael Jackson.
The vast majority. He's probably the last person chosen.
But I'm gonna use your argument against. I'm gonna use your argument against you because being poppy has always been the detriment for people in music. They always say, "Oh, they went pop. They ain't not even good anymore. Oh, they went pop."
Not Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson's the king of pop.
He's the king of pop, but everyone else, same thing. When Prince started going pop, everyone's like, "Oh, he's not."
Can we agree?
Purple Rain's one of the greatest songs ever.
Yeah, and that's
What?
a rock song.
Can we agree
It's
that
still
Michael Jackson-
popular. It's the popular.
No, I understand, but I just find it interesting. I'm just
Can we agree? Michael
hold on. I'm just making an assessment of how all of a sudden being poppy is used as a compliment.
I'm going to use the pop as I'm going to use the pop, and I'm going to expand on it. Okay.
Mhm.
We agree that Michael Jackson started abusing this when he was like what, 8, 10 years old, something young.
Yeah,
Like 5.
5, sure, even better. I always say, when people judge Michael, I say, no one in the industry that I've ever seen has had the longevity at the height of his career that he has had for the entire time. So I don't feel like it's fair to judge his love of children and Neverland or whatever it is, monkeys, because there's no one that has lived his life even close to comparison.
You better leave Bubbles alone.
Correct. Leave Neverland alone. Leave his skin issues alone. Leave it all alone.
Right.
No one at the end, this is not just like, because some people have been in the industry since they have been a child. They've never been at the level of fame and height that he has the entire time.
True.
So there's nobody to compare to him, right? And we can also say, as when it comes to being Black and or person of color in Bruno's case, and a certain specific sound and genre of when it comes to like R&B and combining it a little bit with popular music, that he is the originator of that.
Mm-hmm.
He is the blueprint. And so all of these other people in this category are kind of based upon him. Okay. That's why his doesn't change. The Weeknd, if you were comparing anybody, it would be Chris Brown, Usher, and or Bruno to like a baby version of Michael Jackson as far as that particular popular R&B lanes. Because I'm gonna add a little R&B into it because that's what in fact they do. It's a popular R&B lane. It's not just like Britney Spears pop. Let's not play when you talk about pop. It's a little rhythm in there. If you're putting those people in those categories, The Weeknd does not content, friends.
I just think you're blinded by the lights of some of those.
Blinded by
I think that's
whatever hair he's chosen this month.
Yeah. I was really waiting for the blasphemous talk of Marcus.
Yeah, and that's what I'm waiting for.
Blasphemous.
That's what I'm waiting for. And
my man
somehow that's why he's not. Look, we might have to just talk about it since he's taking so long to get back on. Marcus said if he had to drop someone, it would be Prince.
Okay.
And he gave his reasoning, but I want him to defend himself before I give his.
I forget what I responded to him in that moment, but okay, we all know because we're cousins. We are of the older set of our cousins.
Facts.
Jerry being the youngest of that older set. And even me, I don't listen to Prince's music for the most part often. Like, I'm not a huge Prince fan. I'm a way more bigger Michael Jackson fan than I'm a Prince fan. However, I would never take away because the meme says you have to take the entirety of their music away with them, which is why you using Chris Brown as an excuse to be like, well, in recent years, he hasn't put out a lot.
I don't have to hear "Run It" over and over again. I don't have to hear that over and over again.
Forever at everybody.
Y'all want me to read what Marcus said?
Yeah,
what
Marcus says since he's
not here to defend himself.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? All right, so he answered so many times and said the same thing over again. Actually, all right, he said first.
I'm playing around with these.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Never actually did this.
he said, I'm gonna be honest, I don't listen to Prince, so it would have to be him, as I do listen to the others. Chrissy responded with, the influence of Prince's existence and music transcends him as an artist. Adios, fin de semana.
Anyway,
so wait, hold on. There's a little bit more. There's a little bit more.
I just want to translate for those that don't speak Spanish.
So Chrissy also said the two originators of the style can't go. So then Marcus said, like I said, to me, it would have to be Prince because I don't listen to his music like that. Yes, he's influenced music and music history tremendously. However, it would be pure speculation to think that if Prince was gone, that no one would or wouldn't have came out to influence it in a similar way. Just my 2 cents.
Look, I don't even know how he even fixed his mouth to say that when his father is one of the biggest Prince fans out there. I don't know how.
That's probably why he's like, yo, I don't, he's being a rebel. Like, I was listening to Prince all my life. I can't listen to Prince anymore.
Did you snitch and tell that he said that?
I don't know. I think you'll eventually see this. It's like, how can you say that? You never listen to Prince. That's all we listen to in the car.
I also, what my point was, even if you don't listen to Prince easily influenced music that exists today from whatever artist comes out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I was new with some of these newfangled artists when they just like, I never heard of such and such, because when we were coming up, everything that came out in hip hop, my mom would always like hear, especially with Diddy, my mom would hear songs to me like, that's from my era. That's
right.
Music, right? So it's amazing to me that when artists today, like the newer, the younger kids, don't pay homage to the people that came before them, or they're just like, I have no idea who that is. But I'm not a musician, but if I were, I'd be studying the musicians that came before me.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Marley is entering.
Now, if I look, this is my ranking. Michael Jackson number 1, Prince number 2, Usher number 3, Bruno Mars is dropping to. Hold on. Let me look at the list again.
Because Chris Brown.
No. Chris Brown is 6.
Then Bruno, and then The Weeknd.
Chris Brown is 6. Chris Brown is 6. There's no way around it. The Weeknd is actually 4th, behind Usher. All right. Let's also remember, who's had Super Bowl appearances: Michael Jackson, Prince, and The Weeknd, and Bruno Mars.
Chris Brown is hated upon because he's the bad boy of the industry, but sure.
I mean,
has Prince had the Super Bowl appearances?
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
Purple Rain.
In the rain. It was actually in the rain. Yeah.
Let me see if I can bring.
I'm affirmed. So everybody but Chris Brown has had Super Bowl appearances, but Chris Brown hasn't had them, not because he doesn't have the fans, the catalog, the ability to perform, or any of that. It's strictly because he's a bad boy.
Look, man, I don't want to see him flipping to March Madness.
They barely let him. They barely let him play in nightclubs for fear of shootouts. So no, they're not putting him on the Super Bowl stage.
Look,
that has more to do with him personally than it does as a musician.
I don't have. If I never hear "Run It" again in my life, I'll be fine. If I never hear "No Guidance" again in my life, I'll be fine. If I never hear "Loyal" is pretty good. No. If I never hear "Loyal," that's fine. What's the one?
I would give you
this is the only one where I'm like, eh.
I will give you a fun fact about your late great Aunt Cheryl. Is that every time she would get into my car, she would ask me to play Yo. Every time, without fail.
I mean, we all have our vices. We all have our vices. Marcus is struggling. I don't know. He just came into the broadcast room and still
look. I already said what he had to say.
Yeah, man.
First of all, I don't need him to repeat what he said.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all right. Maybe next time.
I think that most people would have the list as I said it, where it's Michael Jackson, Prince. I'd give you Usher next, Chris Brown, Bruno, The Weeknd.
I mean,
that is, what order would you go in?
The popular crowd can be wrong at times.
I would go, it'll be Michael, Prince, Usher. It would then have to be Chris Brown, The Weeknd, and then Bruno.
Oh, because you have Bruno.
Because, Bruno and Mr. Steal Your Song.
Which is a fair. I would give you the either or of Bruno and The Weeknd, and also Bruno hasn't even been around that long for me to be stressed out about Bruno. I'm not stressed out about it.
I actually like Bruno's more original style. that
Yes.
is new.
When he first came out, that album where the I don't know what the last.
can't
he has. He has.
You talking about what, like Marry You and all that?
No, where's the one with the? Hold on.
He has the current project with Anderson .Paak, which
that's not bad. It's
yeah,
only because I like Anderson .Paak.
Oh yes, the keep the door open.
Oh, the leave the door open joint. Yeah, I mean it's hot. I ain't gonna lie. I think it's because of Anderson .Paak though, but yeah, I mean it's still a good song. I like it.
We all understand. No, what's the album before this one?
All right, Cuzos.
Whatever one is 24 Magic. No, that's song. Yeah, but again, like I don't even know Weeknd songs.
Yeah, that's another thing. You don't even know, and you're talking about.
Hold up.
Listen to the trilogy.
Oh, wait. I got my nails done right before I came on here. And as I was getting the notes, I listened to the trilogy and I listened to something else and I turned it off and I listened to Chris Brown instead.
Oh, shit.
You're being such a subjective person. That's all it is.
I'm not. I literally couldn't sit and listen to him any longer.
Oh,
You can't tell me Glass Dribble. You can't tell me
I tried. I'm not a fan of the sound of his voice. I'm not a fan of most of his melodies. I'm not a fan of the musicianship. I'm not a fan of the inflections in his voice that sometimes sound like horrible mic imitations. I just don't. He's the weakest of that list. He's the weakest thing. He's better than some other artists. I will give him that. He's better than some other artists. Of that particular list, he's not. He can't even two-step.
I forgot.
Okay, I gotta go on this one. Hey, I love y'all. I love y'all so much. Everybody watching, make sure you tell everybody about the show. Yep. We'll holler at you. D-Rock, Derek, I'm still the unofficial mayor of Prince George's County and the gatekeeper of the DMV. So yes. So I'll explain that to you later in the text.
Or you could just go watch.
Oh yeah, or just watch it. Yeah. But all right, y'all. I love y'all.
Love you,
man. So Chrissy.
Yes.
Before we end this show.
Okay.
So did you not like 50 Shades of Grey, the soundtrack?
I like the one Beyonce did.
So the soundtrack that The Weeknd pretty much did.
I wasn't like I don't listen to it.
What about Drake's work?
Which
where a lot of it is written and produced, and
Abel makes everyone else able.
Yeah, Abel Tesfaye.
I honestly don't. There's so many reasons why I'm just not a fan of his. And it's not that I think he's a horrible artist. I think in that particular list, though, there's just, if you're comparing, he doesn't have the range, the catalog, the performanceship of any of those people. Performanceship isn't a word, but whatever.
Disrespectful. But Christy, it's been fun.
Thank you.
You're always invited.
I'm happy to be sober this time.
Mm-hmm. You have any shout outs since you're on? Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Marley. Shout out to my dog. I don't know where he went. He came in here.
Marley's not going to see this.
Yeah. I don't know. My sister, my niece. Hi, Nina. My homies, all in DC.
Make sure you pass the word.
Northeast DC.
Mm-hmm.
I can shout out all of Northeast DC. There we go. I feel like my thickest of accents.
Before we go, just want to remind you all to subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to the audio on either Anchor, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn. You can also subscribe on YouTube, watch on Facebook and Twitch. And yeah, man, when you subscribe, leave a review. Also pass the word. Please pass the word so we could grow and reach more people. Shout out to OSS 980. We're doing a draft show. We will have the promo out for it by this weekend. a live NFL draft show. So we'll be collaborating. Me and the guys at OSS 980 will be doing a live show for the first round of the NFL draft. Make sure you tune in for that. Shout out to Soggy Nachos. Very good podcast. Shut Your Face. It's another very good podcast. The Curls and Sports podcast with Erica Fernandez. Also, make sure you follow Karita Parks, Karita C. Parks on all social media platforms, and Grady Diaz, Grady_Diaz on Instagram, and that is GREYDY. Also, shout out to everyone who's out there listening. Shout out to my man Mike Edwards, man. Got to get him on here. He's part of host and founder of the Dual Exchange podcast, or Dual Exchange, which is a YouTube live show. Make sure you check it out for all you photographers and creatives. Check it out. Anything else before we roll out of here, Chrissy?
No, but might I suggest we should do a 90-day episode.
When you say a 90, 90. Look, so
I'm gonna go catch up as soon as I get off of
We have to. I didn't see this last week's episode, but
I'm gonna do it right.
I look, if I wasn't in school, I would honestly have like a pop culture podcast and a sports podcast and drop them both during the week, because there's so much. Like, you see that we've been talking now for nearly 30 minutes, probably more. I didn't even look at when we started, but about a meme about R&B artists, like 90 Day Fiance. Check it out.
90 Day Fiance would take 3 hours of the conversation.
We got a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Until next time, everyone. Sports Reality. Peace.
Bye.